Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing great. So in today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to cut and sew this Bubu gown with a placket and a front pocket. Okay, so don't go anywhere, keep watching, and please do not forget to like my video, share my video, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and let's dive into today's tutorial. So guys, for this bubu gown, I'm working with 2 yards of Mikado silk. Okay, and we'll be drafting out the back part first. Okay, my fabric is already folded into two. Okay, and I already went ahead to measure the length. All right, so the length of this bubu gown is 39 inches plus 2 extra inches for the folding allowance. Okay, so for the shoulder and the sleeve length, I will just be working with what I have here. Okay, and here I'm having 17 inches, so I'll be rolling this part out to serve as our starting line. Okay, so guys, from this starting line, which is also our shoulder line, I'll place my tape like so. I'll mark the bust line, measurement. Okay, which is 10 inches, and then from the shoulder line to the waistline, I'll be marking 16.5 inches. Okay, and then from the shoulder line to the hip line, I'll be marking 22.5 inches. Okay, and remember, this bubu gown does not have a zipper. All right, so 39 inches, the round bust measurement, 39 inches divided by 4, that will be giving me 9.7 inches. Okay, so I'll be marking that on the bust line. Okay, I'm just making this faint because I'm working with a white fabric. Okay, so having marked the bust line measurement, I'll be adding extra 2.5 inches for sewing allowance and then for ease. Okay, then the bust, the round waist measurement I'm working with is 36 inches divided by 4, that will give me 9 inches. I'll mark that on the waistline. Okay, plus the same 2.5 inches sewing allowance. The round hip measurement I'm working with is 42 inches. Okay, so that divided by 4 will give me 10.5 inch. All right, so I'm marking that on the hip line measurement plus the same 2.5 inches. Okay, allowance. All right, so everything I'm having here on the hip line measurement is 13 inches. Okay, so if you like, you can just repeat that 13 inches on the length of this bubu gown. Okay, or you can reduce half an inch to make it fitted, kind of. All right, so I'll be marking 12.5 inches here. Okay, so next up, I'll connect the points together. All right, so next up, the neck width I'll be working with for the back. All right, I'll be marking out 3.5 inches. All right, and then the neck depth for my back neckline, I'll be marking 2.5 inches. Okay, So I'll just use my curve ruler and connect like so. All right. And then over here, I'll be coming down by 1 inch. All right, for my shoulder slope. Okay, and then for my armhole, as my sleeve opening, I'll be marking 9 inches. Okay, 9 inches. So from this 9 inches, I'll just use my free hand, okay, and make a curve to meet with the point, all right, on the bust stroke waistline. I hope you're following. Then I'll be connecting from this 1 inch for the shoulder slope down to the upper neck width, okay. So this is all for the back. So the next thing I'll do is to cut this out, okay. So guys, to draft out the front part, okay, I folded this material again into two. For the placket, all right, it depends on how wide you want it to be, all right. So don't forget, this part is still folded, okay, the center front. So I'll be marking 2.5 inches wide, but I later reduced it to 2 inches because I found out 2.5 inches is too wide. So it all depends on individual preference, okay. So I'll be marking that from the starting line down to the lower part of the gown. All right, so you can see it's not difficult to make a placket. So having marked the 2 inches down to the length of the gown, I'll just bring the back fabric back, the one we already drafted and cut out, okay. Place it on the width, the 2 inches width, okay. To make it easier for you, you can rule a straight line, all right, from the starting point down to the lower part of the gown, all right, and just place your back fabric on it and just cut out. Then you can see that my sleeve is the back sleeve is longer than the short sleeve, so I'll just, to make it even, I'll just be trimming out this excess, all right, so my sleeve will be shorter, all right, not like we earlier measured, okay. So all I need to do is just to cut this out. For the depth of my front neckline, okay, I'll be marking out 6 inches, okay. So I'll use my curve ruler and give this a curve. And I'll cut this out. So this is the facing for the back neckline, all right. This is the facing for the back neckline, all right. So before I cut the facing for the front neckline, okay, remember we notched this upper part and also the lower part for this placket, okay. So I will turn this material over to the right side. Okay, please take note. I will turn this front part over to the right side. Okay, then run a stitch like so straight down, okay, to this other place that we notched. All right, okay, before cutting out the facing for the neckline. All right, so when I'm done, I'll come back and show you the next step. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew the placket. Okay, I ran a straight stitch, okay, from the neckline down to the lower part of the gown. Okay, and I've gone ahead to cut the interfacing, the facing, okay, for the front part. So the next thing we'll do, guys, is I will turn like so, but after sewing, running a stitch, okay, for this placket, you can just open it up like so, okay, and iron it. But I won't be ironing this until I've given it a wash, okay, and because it's mine. So after sewing like so, you just open up like so, okay. Can you see? Just open up like so. All right, and iron down. So I only used pin to secure mine, all right, at the neckline area. So I'll bring my interfacing like so on the right side. I'll place like so, secure with my pin, then run half an inch round the neckline before turning this over to the wrong side. Okay, I'll be doing that also for the back neckline. Okay, for the back neckline. So guys, I'm done with the neckline. Okay, this is the right side for the front part. Okay, this is the right side for the back part. Okay, I used interfacing to allow it slip on the wrong side. Okay, I used hemming gum, okay, to allow the interfacing slip on the wrong side. All right, so the next thing we'll do is to sew the shoulders, okay, to join the shoulders together. So right sides facing each other. Okay, so I'll go ahead and run a stitch of half an inch, okay, on both shoulders. All right, after joining the shoulders, okay, we'll be working on the sleeve. Okay, I'll just be opening it up straight like so. Okay, then sewing 1 inch. All right, I'll turn like so, half an inch and another half an inch, then run a stitch round. Okay, I'll be doing that for both sleeves. So guys, we are done joining the shoulders, okay, and also folding the sleeve. All right, so the next thing we'll do is I'm still on the wrong side of this material. Okay, so I'll make sure everything is aligned, then I'll take this to the machine. So 1 inch on both sides, or half an inch. All right, you remember we gave 2 inches for the allowance, okay, of this while drafting this gown. So also half an inch on both sides, or if I want it a little bit tight, I'll sew 1 inch on both sides. Okay, and that will down to the length of this gown. So when I'm done, I'll come back and show you the next step. So guys, I've gone ahead to shape this gown, okay, this Bubu gown, and I've also hemmed the lower part of the gown. Okay, so lastly, I'll be fixing in my pockets. Okay, and the length of this I'll be using this ashoke material for my pocket. Okay, and the length, I think I measured about 8 inches, 8.5 inches. Okay, because I already folded half an inch on this side here. Okay, so all I need to do is from the shoulder line here, okay, I'll measure 17 inches. Okay, place my pocket like so and just run half and just run a stitch like so and like so. Okay, I will not be folding this edge, but I'll be folding this lower part. Okay, so it will not be losing. All right. And so guys, with this we've come to the end of today's tutorial. I hope you find this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, like my video, and share this video. See you in my next video. Bye.